us are awake for our departure, but for those of us who are already up and about, the sunrise over the lagoon is a magical moment. The mood on board is unhurried at the beginning of this new day. After a good breakfast, we head up to the sun deck to relax in the open air as we head for our next destination. We have a full day ahead of us. Today, we navigate up the Po River to Policella. We'll then hit the highway for an excursion that will bring us first to Verona, then to Padua. Here we are in Verona, a city that has been called the most beautiful in Europe. Built around the winding Adige River, Verona's skyline is dominated by the sanctuary of the Madonna of Lourdes on San Leonardo Hill. The city has made remarkable efforts to preserve its rich historic heritage, evidenced by the large number of monuments from the Roman era, the medieval era, and the Renaissance. Verona's arena is the most spectacular monument in the city. Better preserved than the Colosseum in Rome, this structure dates back to the 1st century and can seat almost 30,000 spectators. In Roman times, the venue was used for gladiator fights and sporting competitions. While an earthquake in the early 12th century caused serious damage, the arena has been restored several times since that period. First during the Renaissance, and then more recently during the French occupation under Napoleon. Since 1913, the arena has been home to the Verona Opera Festival, which draws opera lovers from all over the world. In the summer, the arena calendar is packed with several shows every week, hosting performers from Paul McCartney to Radiohead. The site is enchanting, the acoustics exceptional. In summer, it's common to see set pieces in the street as the venue sets up for the next show. The arena is right across from Piazza Bra, the city's main square, a lush green space facing the neoclassical Palazzo Barbieri that houses Verona's City Hall. In the middle of the square, a pleasant park gives us a place to relax in the shade and admire the Fountain of the Alps. Piazza Bra is surrounded by restaurants and shops and is infused with the warm and friendly ambiance so characteristic of Italian cities. For art lovers, it's impossible to leave Verona without visiting Castelvecchio Museum. Housed in a medieval castle, the museum houses a magnificent art collection, with works from the period spanning from the Middle Ages to the 18th century. Paintings, sculptures, ceramics, ancient artifacts. This is a real journey through the artistic history of Verona. The museum also hosts contemporary art exhibits, like this bronze sculpture by Polish artist Igor Miturai. Over half of this city was destroyed during the Second World War. It's surprising to see that while many of these buildings are reconstructions, Verona has retained its original appearance. There are no modern buildings to dilute the feeling of a trip back in time. Verona's rich past is revealed with every step through the historical city center. This is the Piazza delle Erbe, known for its amusing human statues. In Roman times, this was the location of the Forum, the center of the city's political, economic, and social life. The atmosphere has not changed much since the Middle Ages. It's still a pretty little square surrounded by ancient buildings. And it's still hard to resist shopping at the stalls or stopping for refreshments. The small column structure in the middle of the square was the shelter for the market guard. Next to it are the stalls selling fruits and vegetables, and of course souvenirs. who want to bring home a little something for friends and family, this is the perfect place to find it. Bags, belts, and various leather products. Classical Venetian masks, jewelry, scarves. You're sure to find something that will make your loved one smile. Verona draws people for its extraordinary cultural heritage, but it is also a magnet for lovers of Shakespeare. The story of Romeo and Juliet has left its mark on generations of romantics, thousands of whom pilgrimage to the house of Juliet. In a small street just a few steps away from the Piazza delle Erbe, a 12th century house has been transformed into a museum dedicated to the characters of the tragic play. Visitors come to have their picture taken on the balcony where Romeo came to woo his beloved. In the courtyard below, a bronze statue of Juliet attracts lovers. It's said that you only have to caress her right breast to be assured of eternal love. In brief, Verona is a magnificent city with a rich past that is clearly displayed in its buildings and monuments. The Italians are a passionate people. Walking through the city, you can see why it was chosen as the setting of the most beautiful love story ever written. Before getting back on the road, we find a little restaurant where we sample some of the local specialties. Fresh vegetables, cured meats,